and with some Massicism teachings and that. This is the Massicism channel and such though, about teaching about the Massicism community, its faith and its ways of the group and that. Remember that if you want to join that, you can find the joining the group and that on Facebook and that and such. It is I will have the name here at the end of the video and that of the Facebook group and that. Anyways, let's get into the next video. The previous video that spoke about the basics and that, and in this video that we're going to be speaking about our spiritual workings, the three main parts of everyone that within, and on how Massicism usually shows you on how it's taught. The tribunal in everyone, the higher spirit, the flesh self, and the psychological self, or the mind. Usually with the with everyone's form and that usually consists of three parts: the body, the flesh self, that is usually the vessel, the conduit, that your body is your conduit, your avatar, or your control module, or whatever that you want to call it, and that it is the biological thing that you're integrated into and born as within the physical material world, the world that you can see, the world that you can interact with the five main senses, where you can touch, hear, smell, and taste and that and such. This is the physical world. Your body is the vessel which you operate in order to move in it, to experience it, to see it, and to interact with it. That's the first part of you. That is very basic. That is very biological. It is just physical. Made out of atoms and matter that are compressed together, and that is moving through the state. Then we move on to the thing that usually operates the body's programming, which is the mind, the conscious, the thing that we know it's there, that we can somehow measure, but we just don't understand where it sits, what it is, and such, or how it is formed, such. Not yet, anyways. As we go through more and more experiences, and as we experiment more on that, eventually the conscious state of mind will be able to be mapped out and such and that. Now, whether that would be a good thing or a bad thing depends on the person who actually does it first, and on the circumstances on how they present it to the world and that. Because with that type of knowledge, it can be used for like really shitty things, really boring things, and just make life much more harder for the rest of the people. Or it could go like actually advance the species as a whole, and we can actually get some bad things, way cooler things, and things that are actually practical out of that information, and that comes from that. The mind is the control panel on that can be taking control of you, or fully just left on autopilot and such. Meaning like if you driving and that and such though. If you've done it so many times and that even so many complex tasks like that, you will be driving for so long, and then all of a sudden though you think you snap back into control, and you worry though as to how were you driving so perfectly doing that and such, and not crashing or going off the road and that and such though. That is when your mind moves on to autopilot, and it's not just with driving down that you can be simply just cooking and that and moving the knife though so fast, you're conscious in that somewhere else, you're thinking about something completely different, you're not even paying attention on the knife, but you're moving it so fast and you don't even cut yourself in that and such. That is when your mind goes on autopilot, because it searches through all these various experiences that are similar to the experience that you are having now, and it simulates that and that. That is what is called autopilot. It's the control panel. When you leave it on autopilot, it can do that and such though. But you gotta have enough experiences in that and such though. If you haven't really done that many complex tasks and you do one for the very first time and you try to put it on autopilot though, and that you will make a mistake in that and such. Allowing you to use past experiences to do certain tasks like driving, walking, breathing and such and that. All of that you do automatically in that and such, until you really think about it. Then you set the thing into manual, not into auto and that. And then lastly, the last thing, the spirit is the thing that makes certain decisions in the lifespan. It controls the personality and what to believe in that, and what one will be afraid of, what you love, what you desire, what you want in the very specific moments and such. But that is technically not the full you, the you that's actually behind all those driver seats and that such. Your spirit is what shapes your inner beliefs, your inner desires and that and such, that whether you have the extremely long-term goals done that though. If your spirit craves that, it will set that into motion and that, and then that will interact with the mind and that and such, and then you get into the process of start planning ahead and that because you're feeling that it is needed. Your spirit gives off those complicated, complex feelings and that you really can't give a name to in the moment and that and such though. But that is not technically the you doing that. The real you doing that is usually the thing that is referred to the entire soul, the entire flame that it is within Massicism. With Massicism, we refer to it as the flame doing that and that. And once you're ignited, once you understand that those three parts that are what help you to actually interact with this world, with this physical world, then you'll be able to start breaking it down and seeing the things that are beyond it and such stuff. But that usually takes time, and that usually doesn't happen for everyone and such stuff. Not everyone is going to be able to go through this process, and many other practices and that usually call this the awakening and the flow of the Kundalini serpent, your fire serpent, that flows through and unlocks all your 7 main chakras and and it opens up the path where your energy can now sense the extra things that are not of the material world, that are not of the physical world, that's within the astral or shadow or chaos or blood realm, and it's depending on how far you extend that link towards that, or what you focus on that with your arcanic practices and that. Reason for this quite simple. Your soul is you and vice versa. Your fire serpent is the key though to total control, and your chakras are the panels that help you access the mind, body and spirit, but in a random order, and that order depends on what you are exposed to first, and that meaning on the information of your environment. If you are exposed to harsh truths, your fire will burn bright. If you are exposed to lies and comfort solution, the awakening will be harder than that, and such stuff. So if you don't usually do these certain practices, these certain rituals and that, your fire serpent and that is not going to be able to allow you to access that and such stuff, and it will be harder for you to actually open up and awaken your fire and that, and ignite it and that and such, and it will be very difficult for you to see past the material world and that and into the astral world and that and such, or the other realms that are not physical, that are spectral or phantomonial and that and such that interact in a different way and such. So that usually is not going to happen for everyone and that, and within Massicism we kind of actually don't understand it, and Massicism such is only about magic and that. Remember, there's also the science part of it all, and that the scientific studies of the world and that and such. The material world is just important as the spiritual ones and that. You shouldn't really ignore this world. You should experiment with it and see what is capable of doing for you and that and such while you also experiment with the spiritual world and that. And once you balance it out and that, you can take control fully of your mind, your body and your spirit and that. And once you have that full control, you will be able to basically set your mind to do anything and that and get through any situation that you are stuck on or trapped in at the moment and that and such. Well, that will be that for this video and that. The next video we will start on how to understand the reason why we have the 5 main gods and 5 main lords, and what they usually do for a person and how they can actually help you unlock your inner flame and such. But until then, I'll see you in the next video, and this is the name for the Facebook group and that. You'll see posts there and that with links and that to like a WhatsApp chat group and that and such, and you can join through there and that if you want to get bits and pieces of information and that, and certain spells or rituals or invocations and that, and join the community ranks and that, and go through the ranks of the community and such. It is free in that. All you have to do is a simple initiation of ritual in that, and you can join through that if you want. That totally up to you on that. But until then, remember to like and subscribe. It will help the channel out, and if you made it this far to the end of the video, leave a part and that and such. Until next time.